Hey guys! Today I'm drawing the character Kurt Hummel from Glee. I started by printing out a photo and drawing a 1 inch by 1 inch graph. Then I drew a 2 inch by 2 inch graph on drawing paper and sketched the outline of his face. Next I began filling in the darkest areas of his eyes with a 2B graphite pencil. Now I'm filling in his iris with a plain old mechanical pencil with 0.5 HB graphite. I'm using this because it has a very precise point, and in these areas I want it to be very sharp and very clean, such as in the crease of his eye and in the inner corner of his eye. Now I'm taking another graphite pencil in F, and I'm just shading in parts of his eye that are lightly shadowed. I'm also going to use the F pencil on areas of his face where there are shadows or creases. This makes it so that the shadows aren't super dark and super noticeable, but just gives light dimension. Now I'm using both the F and the HB pencil to define the eyes a little bit more, and then using an eraser pen to erase the area in his waterline where it is lighter. Now I'm just quickly adding some eyelashes. He has very long eyelashes. He might be wearing mascara, so I want to make those really defined. Now I'm using the HB again to color in his eyebrows with very small feather-like strokes. As you can see, depending on where the light hits it, some parts of the eyebrows are darker than others, and I want to make sure I show that. Now I'm just drawing in his nostrils with a 2B pencil and sharpening the edges with the HB mechanical pencil, and also the outside of his nose in the crease. Now I'm using the F pencil to give some light definition to the sides of his nose, where it's not very dark, but we want to make sure you can still tell that there's part of a nose there. Now we're using a 2B pencil to darken the outer corners of his mouth, and then most of the rest of the mouth is with the HB mechanical pencil. And I want to leave parts of the mouth lighter, that way it looks more three-dimensional and full. Now I am shading his face using an F where the area is lighter and an HB where the area is darker. Some parts on his ear and neck are even more dark, so I'm using a 2B to shade in those areas. Most of his hair has a very strong shadow on it, and so I'm going to use a 2B for that, and then when the areas are lighter I'm going to be using an HB mechanical pencil. See how I am feathering out the 2B? This just makes the transition easier between the lighter and darker shades. Now I'm using the F to lightly shade in areas on his collar and shirt. His shirt is white, so we don't need to color in the whole thing. I'm just darkening the folds. His vest is gray, so I'm using the HB pencil to draw in the folds and then an F pencil to fill in the rest. Now I'm drawing in some polka dots on his bow tie and then filling in the background with HB. Now I'm using the smallest tortillon size to begin blending in his eyeball, and a slightly bigger tortillon to blend in the area of skin around his eye, and also his mouth. Then I'm using an even bigger tortillon, about 1/4 of an inch in diameter, and blending out his hair. Finally, I'm taking a very large tortillon and blending out his face. I like using the biggest ones on the skin because that makes it blended out the most. And although the tortillons do a great job of blending, they don't always look the most natural on the skin, so I'm using some toilet paper and some Q-tips to blend it out even more to make it soft and natural. Now I'm going to show you a before and after of before I blended it and after I blended it. It looks so much more realistic afterwards, so make sure you don't skip that step. Now I am taking an eraser pen and erasing any areas that I want to be lighter and highlighted. This includes strands of hair or the whites of his eyes. Then in those same areas I'm going to use a white charcoal pencil to highlight even more. And lastly, I'm just adding some strands of hair to make it even more realistic. Now that the drawing's done, I'm going to start digitally altering it by scanning it and then putting it into a Word document. And I'm going to insert a rectangle shape, duplicate it to make 6 of them, then color each different rectangle a color of the rainbow. Then I'm going to set the color transparency to 90%, remove the outlines, and add a quote. And this is the finished product. I hope you like it, and if you did, please subscribe or like it or leave a comment below. Thank you so much.